In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a professional poster using PowerPoint. As you see, I've started out with a clean new presentation, and the first thing I need to do is to make it the appropriate size so it can be printed. To do that, I'm going to come up to the Design tab up here. Once we have the Design tab open, we're going to choose Slide Size over here on the right. And from the pull-down menu, we are going to pick Custom Slide Size. And here we are going to type in 36 inches by 24 inches. So we've got a poster-sized slide. And we're just going to go ahead and tell it to maximize. Since we don't have anything on there right now, it doesn't matter anyway. Now that we've got our slide poster sized, let's go ahead and add our title. So I'm going to go ahead and use the text boxes that are already here, and I'm going to move this all the way up to the top, and I'm going to resize it to where it fits my poster. I'm going to type in my title. So it turned out really small. What I need to do is I need to look at my font size chart, which is this. And now, since I've got a title, I'm going to go ahead and make this title sized, which it said 88 is a good size. And I'm going to change my title font to be something a little fancy to get attention. And I need to add a subtitle with my name and information on it. Again, the font is really small, so let's change that. Be something a little more appropriately sized. The next thing I want to do is add a border to my box. So I'm going to click Shape Format, Shape Outline. Let's make it black, and let's change the weight to 1.5 points. So I've got my title and my subtitle at the top of my poster. Next, I need to start adding text boxes with my information in it. I'm going to go ahead and use this other text box that's already here, and I'm going to center this because it's a header. I'm going to call this Goals, and I'd like to keep this Berlin Sans Demi font here, and let's make it a little bit smaller, so we've got it at 66 points. Next, we're going to come to Shape Format, and we're going to add our outline again, also at 1.5 points. So I've got my title, I've got my first text box, going to add in my information, and one thing you want to make sure you always do is keep your body font aligned left. The body font is the stuff that's underneath your header. It's your information that you'll be including throughout your poster. Let's go with 40. So my font size keeps changing because this autofit option is on. I'm actually going to turn that off. Autofit changes your font sizes and makes it more difficult for you to keep your font sizes consistent throughout. So we want to make sure that's turned off. That way your font sizes are not different throughout your poster. You know, we want to keep these consistent. Let's add another text box, insert text box, and I'm just going to draw it underneath the other one. Alright, and I'm going to come to Shape Format, Shape Outline, make it black again, and we'll do it 1.5 points like all the others. We're going to call this one Data, and again my font is really small. Set this to our Berlin Sans Demi, so let's make that also 66, and we're going to center it because it's our header. Hitting the Enter key, grabbing my data that I'm going to put in here, pasting that in with a Control V. I can also use the paste options to keep the formatting, keep the text only. We'll keep text only, so we are using Roboto. Highlight that, align it left, choose Roboto and bring it down to 40 points. And then this was bulleted text since it's a set of statistics. It's a little easier to read. So we've got Roboto and Berlin Sans Demi as our fonts that we're using in our font scheme here. Okay, shrink these up a little bit. The nice thing about using PowerPoint and using Google Slides is that they have, you see that red line there next to the corner of the goal and the data button? That's a guide, and it makes sure that your images are aligned the same. And if you look at where I have it placed now, it's got the same amount of white space between the boxes. So you'll want to make sure that you're using those to help you stay consistent in your spacing throughout your poster. Now let's add an image. To add an image, I'm going to come up and click on the Insert button, and I will choose Pictures from this device. And on my desktop, you see I've got this flower picture. So I'm choosing Insert, and I've got a really big flower now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a little smaller. So we're on the picture format menu already, and I'm going to choose Crop. So now these little black bars show up, and I can actually shrink my photo down to where it's just got the one flower in it that I want to use on my poster. So I can move that down into the corner, and you see the guides are showing up to show that it's the same amount of white space. I'm going to add a border to my picture so it looks consistent with all the other images on my poster and text boxes. So I've got my picture, I've got my text boxes. I can also add a graph. So let's add a graph. To add the graph, I'm going to come to Insert and Chart. I'm going to add a pie chart here, and I'll tell it OK. So it already adds the chart in for me and opens up the source data where it draws the pie chart sizes from. I've got my data already copied from another file, so I'm going to come up here in the upper left hand corner, and I'm just going to paste it in, and you can see my data's in here now, so the chart matches my data. So I'm going to close that, and now I just need to size it to where I want it to be. So let's put it right here in the middle, and at the top you see there are different design options, so you can change the way that your pie chart looks. There are also options where you can change the colors. It's really easy to change the color if you use the Change Color button. So that kind of matches my flower a little bit better, so we'll use the bright colors. And I also need to change my headings because they're really small. So to make this larger, make it 40, and we'll call it Figure 1. And so we've got our caption there. The data here is also really, really small. To make this data larger, I'm going to go to Home, and let's make it, there, now we can see it. This is 36, and let's make it bold, and also let's change the color to black. Let's make sure our title is black, and then down here you see we've got the legend, which we also can't read because it's too small. So let's make this larger, also 36 points, and turning it black. So now we can see our data and we can actually read what's happening on this pie chart. There we go. So now that is about the same size as our text boxes. And if you click away, you see that there's no text box around our data. So let's click on our chart again. We'll come to Format, Shape Outline, making it black, and adding 1.5. So now they're all 1.5. They're all about the same size. That is how you can add images and add text boxes to create a professional poster presentation on a PowerPoint slide.